It takes more than just good grades for one to begin a university education, and in the last 3 years, over 60% of all senior high school graduates could not transition to tertiary institutions. While this primarily has been attributed to financial challenges, education stakeholders say this is a drawback to the national target of 40% annual enrollment by 2030.
To what extent is the student loan reflecting or responsive to the financial needs of needy students? It costs averagely 15,000 cedis to finance one's tertiary education in a year. The average student loan is 2,000 cedis. So 2,000 cedis as a percentage of 15,000 cedis for humanities, obviously, it's not what to prevent one from dropping out.
Brother of late President John Evans Atta Mills, Samuel Mills has chastised those seeking the autopsy report of former President John Evans Atta Mills. The MP for Komena Edina Iguafu Ibrahim constituency, Samuel Atta Mills, is holding former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koku Anyideho, responsible for the mischief. He emphasized that the laws of Ghana do not permit burials without an autopsy report. Hence, there was no way the burial of a deceased head of state will take place without such an important requirement. Former President John Mahama has pleaded with labor unions to be measured in their demands of the next NDC administration, warning of depleted coffers to be bequeathed to him by the NPP administration. Various professional bodies have been making several demands of the NDC leader in the area of improved conditions of service and salary upgrades. But speaking in Hohoe, John Mahama says Ghanaians should brace themselves for tougher times.
I plead with the teachers' unions, NATS and NAGRAT and UTAG and TEU and all of them. And all of you are clamoring for allowances, increase in your allowances and so on and so forth. Let me caution you that in 2025, inshallah, after we take over, we will show you the books and the finances of this country.
MP for Adansia Sokwa, Katie Hammond, has stepped up efforts to contest unopposed in the NPP primary for a 7th straight bid into Parliament. After failing at the regional level to get 3 persons contesting him disqualified, the Minister for Trade and Industry has taken up the matter to the Vetting Appeals Committee, requesting the disqualification of Sami Bimfo Dakwa, Kwame Owusu and one another. The spokesperson of the aggrieved Men's Gold customers, Fred Forson, has cautioned witnesses in the ongoing trial of Nanapia Mensah, also known as Nam1, to ward off any attempts to influence them.
The case was at the circuit court for over 4 years. There were no attempt to even approach any customer. So how come now that the matter is before the High Court that we are hearing these things and we are seeing this? So I still want to maintain that we should hold on to our integrity.
Well, there's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the Ministry of Works and Housing has refuted allegations of public land sales by the sector minister and explains that the minister is pursuing what they say is a government redevelopment program. But a member of the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament is raising some fundamental concerns about this particular program and the knowledge that indeed the Parliament's committee has on this matter. But the Ministry of Works and Housing, they've debunked this allegation of the sale of some bungalows belonging to some members of the Judicial Service. Now, the latest comes in response to allegations by Asin Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy Agyapong, that the sector minister has unlawfully acquired a bungalow previously occupied by Supreme Court Judge Justice Samuel Mafusal. Now, but first, I want us to hear exactly what the Asin Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy Agyapong, said. We do not own the details and the content of the tape I'm about playing to you, but it's gone viral, and this is what Kennedy Agyapong said earlier. Take a look.
I'm telling you today. So I'm telling you, I say, "Be more jumaye, no more do woman, woman dear, a dying sasemi, a dying, and one person woman tongue." I'm telling you, got you. Before I started, former Chief Justice, only Judicial Service, any ascenso, Omumeyano, Aye Justice Mafusal. Oyano nifia otimono edie na esie e abaidia enipa bi omo fasa dan krane enwo mo enne positions inti ompese omo defa no omo ba omo abedu omanum. I have a tax for the Vice President of Mahama. So Vice President winio Mahama ne winio me say sa dan no de media chiri am make sure so my investigation. Because one person cut down. One person cut down. Sat down only a woman. The Belgians also. Omupa, Omunyan Yombeka, Ghana first. Mekano Procosissimi. For ye Tintina, Emma Freddy, Momo Bre, Emma Omono, and Konya positions, and Fatma from Ghana, Japan, and yet Juma. Let them take me to court. Only I mean a report to special prosecutor first. My dear former Chief Justice, you should come out and let us know. Justice Mafusal, if you are not team or we are CCA or Mafa. What kind of life is this? No more pompous. Namutu abama womwa. Womu namususa atantari. We are regulations and the powers and so as I said on the same. Chief Justice American Chile, Marcus Alfiano, a DNS. Please, we are not going to allow anybody and to be here someone to be threatened. They are living.
Well, so that's Kennedy Agyapong in that viral video, which you have audio of. Now, we've been monitoring the specific activity around this particular facility Kennedy Agyapong talks about. So stay with us here on Ghana Tonight and our subsequent engagements with you, our viewers, I'll tell you, because we understand there's some redevelopment going on at that said residence of the late Justice Mafusal. But as to exactly what's going on in there and the various authorities undertaking this is a matter that we're still looking at quite closely. But the Ministry of Works and Housing issued a statement after this allegation captured in this viral video by Kennedy Agyapong. Take a look at this. This is what the ministry said, strongly refuting the allegations that there has been no such sale of the property. The facts are that the current developments taking place at the official residence of the late Justice Mafusal forms part of the government redevelopment program, GRP. Keep that in mind. This government redevelopment program, which dates as far back as 1992, has since its inception been widely implemented by successive governments within the Greater Accra region, specifically in Kanda, Cantonments, West Ridge, and Roman Ridge. Keep these areas in mind. These are prime areas: Kanda, Cantonments, West Ridge, Roman Ridge. And a number of you who have used these areas, the roads in these areas, see the level of development going on, high-rise buildings and residential facilities. I'm talking about apartments that are springing up in places where government buildings were previously located. Now, on the 14th of May, 2018, Cabinet approved a revised scheme regarding this redevelopment program by government to include other neighborhoods such as Osu, Ringway, Airport Residential Area, and Laboni. These are prime areas in Accra. Now, this GRP was necessitated by the need to find residential accommodation in Accra for the ever-growing number of public and civil servants. For the avoidance of doubt, the said has not been sold, as it is mischievously being alleged and remains the property of the state. The government redevelopment program, GRP, is rather a cost-effective undertaking which ultimately gives optimal benefit and also efficient use of government lands. This is the explanation given by the statement, or in the details of that statement, from the Minister of Works and Housing. And the minister in this question particularly, as mentioned by Kenny Japon, Francis Asensubuachi, you'll see his picture there. Now, beyond the statement and the reasons detailed in there by the ministry, we wanted to find out if Parliament, the committee specifically charged with the oversight of lands and the forest in this country, is aware of this redevelopment program, and then also what is happening to government buildings located in these prime areas, cantonments, Laboni, Osu, Ringway, and all these places rage, as was mentioned in the statement. Abdul Rashid Pelpo is Member of Parliament for the Wa Central constituency. He is the ranking member on the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. Honorable Rashid Pelpo, thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First of all, I make reference to the statement from the Ministry of Works and Housing indicating that the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, the current development taking place at the official residence of the late Justice Mafusal, is part of government redevelopment program. This GRP and what is specifically happening at the Justice Mafusal's residence, is the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament aware of this? Do you have any information on what's going on?
To tell you the truth, the committee is unaware of this policy. We are unaware of the practical implementation of it, which is giving governments the leeway to break down buildings and to sell out parts of buildings that has been in possession of government for a very long time. We watch it with a lot of worry, and we are concerned that the details are not discussed with us, and we wish that some more information is given to us as to exactly what they are doing and how they are implementing that policy.
I see. But you are a member of the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament with direct oversight responsibility when it comes to checks and balances and demanding accountability for and on behalf of the Ghanaian people when it comes to lands and its allocation and sale. And you're saying that this redevelopment program by government, which has been revised by Cabinet a few years ago, which has led to this allocation of lands and the demolition of some of these government buildings, you are not aware or you don't have information on this?
I had the opportunity to ask the minister a question on the floor of Parliament. Why the new interest in sale of lands, government lands, and especially in lands that are in prime areas and those that already contain buildings. He made reference to the fact that it's been a policy of old, and that he was just implementing a policy which had been carried to them. But that was not sufficient enough for us to explain, for him to explain why these kinds of places they are talking about are demolished, structures demolished, sold to individuals, as if government is very much impatient to have its own land, or government is willing to discharges own lands with the speed of light, as we are seeing. And it's not happening only in Accra, it's happening all over. You know, if you go to Ashanti, we have been told about it. If you go to Upper West region, my region, it's happening in Wa, it's happening in Greater Accra, it's happening in Volta region, everywhere. I mean, there is an indecent sale of lands, government lands, to private individuals who are not necessarily in bad need of land to the extent that those lands should be sold to them. And my worry is not the fact that plain lands lying somewhere are sold to individuals. My worry and our worry is that specific areas of lands in very prime areas in Accra and other places, you know, are being sold out. And when you find out exactly who are the lands are being sold to, many of them are people from within government. We are definitely aware of a policy which individuals can benefit, where individuals seek to have lands. Some distant lands owned by government can be sold to them. And many MPs, I'm sure, have made requests for those kinds of lands and have been sold to them. Mm-hmm. But lands that are in prime locations sold to individuals at prices that cannot be, that don't match up with the value of the land, you know, is what we are worried about.
And that worry, that concern, Sarashid Papo, is not shared by just you members of parliament. We have some members of the general public who have used some of the roads in these areas where government buildings, some old, some fairly new, were located. And the next time they drive past those places, these buildings have been demolished, and then they see high-rise apartments coming up in those places, prime areas, cantonments, Laboni Ridge, Osu Ringway, and its environs. Means you indicate that you are worried about this. Beyond the worry, you are a member of, in fact, leadership of this Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. Are you going to demand some answers or some further detail from the minister when Parliament resumes?
The last time we met one time we met the Lands Commission, we issued a statement asking them to give us details of all the lands, government lands being sold, and reason for them being sold. And since then, we've not gotten a response from them, but we are pursuing it further, understand the details of it, and to get to understand the raison d'etat government decides to sell those specific lands, and targeting individuals who they didn't get through bidding or any other form, but being specifically located to buy those lands.
But as you have indicated, and in fact, as we're talking now, a number of people who are watching us right now are also giving us some further information about observations they have made about certain areas where these old government buildings were, and now they've been demolished, and they see other structures springing up in those areas as well. Now, what is of concern to many is the lack of information that even you, members of parliament, don't have about this as well. So beyond what is going on now in the conversation, are you saying that you, as members of parliament or as members of this Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament, you have information that some of the people who have bought these lands where buildings are coming up are linked to government or government officials? Is that what you do know?
We will definitely support it. Constitutionally, if you take somebody's land in any form by the state, and the state, for the purpose for which it has taken it, decides to use it for another purpose, or to even sell it to an individual, the logical thing is to consider the original owner of the land first before disbursing the land. If you don't do so, the individual who feels aggrieved can request for some investigations to be done. And if they want us to work with them in that enterprise, we definitely would want to make sure that the right thing is done. We can't have governments behave the way they are behaving. You look at the lands and the buildings that were demolished before this so-called cathedral building was to be put up, and nobody is accounting for those plenty already existing structures occupied by top government officials, broke them down. Now they are gone ahead to break several other buildings down, lands being sold to individuals, companies, and there must be some explanations to it by the original owners of those lands. Once they feel aggrieved and they are requesting, it's important that government comes out strongly to explain exactly what is happening.
I see. But this is the objective. According to the statement by the Minister of Works and Housing, they stated some objectives for this redevelopment program. Take a look at this. And Rashid Popo, Honorable Rashid Popo, this is it. Achieving higher and optimum densities in prime areas, contributing to the positive impact of the growth of major cities, achieving a significant increase in total stock of both government and private residential properties, and then improving the urban context and neighborhood characteristics of the old residential properties in our major cities. So that's why you see all of these old properties that are being pulled down in these prime areas. And do you have, or have you asked any question about the owners, the people who have bought these lands, where these old residential properties belonging to government were located, which now we've seen residential facilities? You're talking about high-rise apartments springing up in these areas.
It is the information we are requesting right now. They are very informal communications to us indicating kinds of people they sold these lands to, but you can't depend on those informal communications. It is the reason why we are asking the Lands Commission to confirm with dates, with time, with people who have acquired those lands, and then we can come out strongly to make a statement on them.
Well, Rashid Popo, it's something that we as well here on Ghana Tonight would want to keep the steam on. As you have made requests of the Lands Commission, would also be knocking on your doors as members of the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. You are a ranking member of that committee. So certainly, when you gather information on behalf of the Ghanaian people, let us know as well, so that we would also be in a good position to query a lot more of these issues that come up. Thank you for joining us. Honorable Rashid Popo is our Central Member of Parliament. He's a member of the ranking on the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. Thank you for joining us. Coming up next, your Election Command Center builds up to the new Patriotic Party's parliamentary primaries with a focus on happenings in the Adansi Asqua constituency. This is in the Ashanti region. I'll tell you what, there's a second petition by the Honorable K.T. Hammond, Comrade Tahir Hammond, to have the party disqualify his contenders, 3 of them. Now, he has made the point that, especially with one Samuel Bimfo Dankwa, that he is going to collect his pickup he donated to the party in the constituency, and then also that he did not contribute to the constituency's fortunes over the period and so on. These are issues that K.T. Hammond had raised in that petition to the National Executive Committee, in fact, the Appeals Committee of the party. Now, we understand that some have indicated it's an attempt by K.T. Hammond to have him go unopposed as the Member of Parliament for the area. Well, one of the 3 persons is not backing down on his quest to contest. Now, I'm going to put that petition on the screen right now that K.T. Hammond has submitted to the National Appeals Committee of the NPP, and some responses as well that have been given. Take a look at this. He says, I hereby appeal against the decision by the NPP Parliamentary Vetting Committee sitting in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. This is by Katie Hammon on the 3rd of January 2024 to qualify the underlisted individuals to contest in the parliamentary primaries in the Adansi Asukwa constituency. And in the process of qualifying them, rejected the petition filed by the executives of the constituency. These individuals are Kobina Samoa, Samuel Benfo Dakwa, Enoch Boachi Echampong. The ground of this appeal is that the 3 individuals do not qualify to contest the said primaries within the meaning of Article 12.4 and 7 of the NPP Constitution. This is by Katie Hammon and the demand that he's making. Let's go on to Zoom now. Samuel Benfo Dakwa is a parliamentary aspirant in the Adansi Asukwa constituency. He is one of the 3 persons contesting Katie Hammon, the Minister for Trade and Industry, and the petition against him as well. Samuel, thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Alfred, thank you so much. Good evening to you and your listeners.
Great. Now, this is the second petition by Katie Hammon against you. The first one was at the regional level, together with some 14 other executives of the party within the constituency. They backed Katie Hammon in that regional petition. Now it's been escalated to the national level as well. What's going on?
Yes, you're right. This is the second one. But if you just want to check between me and him, our contest, then this might be about the 5th. For 2020, he sent petition to the region, came to the appeals committee, took it to NEC and all that. And then this time he started the same way. I think that the action he's showing is a sign of ingratitude to the delegates in Adansi Asukwa. Somebody who has been given opportunity to serve the people of Adansi Asukwa for 24 good years. 24 good years as member of parliament. After the 24 good years, 20 of them, you were never contested. Every time you went on the post. So at this stage, if he was somebody who's really minded and had a heart of gratitude, he should just go to the people at Adansi Asukwa today and say thank you, say a big thank you to them. A big thank you to them that you have honored me, you have blessed me, you have given me opportunity that no one has ever had in Ghana. To go to parliament on 5 consecutive times without the contest. I don't know whether any constituency has ever experienced that. But here we are. When the time is due for him to go, he'll still find every means possible just to prevent a contest at Adansi Asukwa. But it's not going to happen. Because the excuses and the allegations and the charges they are bringing against me do not hold water. At the regional level, I provided evidence in my responses to all the allegations, and the allegations or the charges were thrown overboard. Here we are. He brought the same charges, nothing, no change, nothing. The same words, the same letter, mistakes in the letter, everything the same. Brought to the national level. Today, I met the appeals committee. I've responded to every one of the allegations he's made. I provided evidences. And the people who signed those letters, the constituency executives, as I come up with my responses and the evidences, they were there and they were confirmed. They were confirming it. Yes, yes. He said he supported us during the limited registration. The secretary confirmed that, yes, I came around, I supported financially. The pickup, that has become the bone of contention.
Indeed. That was going to be the next question. So where is the pickup? Because according to Katie Hammon in that petition, you've gone to take the pickup back after you lost the election against him. Is that true?
Okay. So the constituency chairman said something at the meeting today, which is very telling and has impact on his leadership. The constituency chairman said that I brought a pickup to the constituency because at that time, the constituency did not have any car that they were using. So if you have been an MP for 20 good years, continuous years, and you could not provide a motor vehicle, you could not provide a car for your constituency to use, and somebody who's as young as I am and just trying to fix things myself here and there, come to contest. After contesting you and losing the election, I expressed such a great goodwill by saying that the pickup I used in my campaign, I'm leaving that pickup behind for you to use to support the campaign of Honorable Katie Amo and President Akufo-Addo. I gave 10,000 Ghana cedis in support of that campaign. After I lost the election, not before I contested, after I lost the election, I gave 200 T-shirts, all in support of the campaign 2020. And through those contributions, we were able to really garner more votes and increase our votes in Adansi Asokwa. After that has been done, and I come for the pickup to go and maintain it and keep it in bushing, then you're crying wolf that why have I come for the pickup? For God's sake, after 24 years, what have you bought for the constituency? If the constituency really had a pickup, you have bought some for them. Would they need mine? It's a clear show of leadership failure.
I see. Well, you said that you met the National Appeals Committee of the party earlier today. Did they communicate their decision to you after the meeting, or you would have to wait for a number of days?
No. After the meeting, after I provided the evidences, if I had more to show, but at a certain point in time, the chairman said that I've already provided enough. He doesn't need any other information. Because of that, I can go. And nobody has barred me from contesting. When we went for the vetting in Ashanti region, and the petition was brought and I responded to them, I was cleared to contest. So we balloted. I'm the number 4 on the ballot. Today, after also responding to the petition you sent to the appeals committee, no, there was nothing like stop campaigning, don't go and campaign or something, because I'm already on the field. In fact, I was on the field yesterday when I received the call that I had to stop and travel to Accra to come and attend to the leadership of the party with respect to you. And Alfred, another thing that I even want to bring on board is that per the directive that they brought guiding the elections, the appeals were a platform that was created for people who are disqualified at the vetting to seek redress, not for people who are not happy for people to contest them to bring petition. If you read the directive very well, it is not a platform. You feel that somebody should not contest, therefore you are bringing petition. You have a petition, take it to the constituency, but take it to the vetting. So the man is just afraid to contest. He's just afraid of the contest. That's why he's playing all those games.
He is afraid of your contest. Katie Hammond.
How else can I put it?
The last time you contested him, what was the difference between him and you? How many votes did he use to defeat you?
58 votes were the difference.
58 votes?
Yes.
This was in 2020.
2020. And Alfred, you followed what happened at Adansi Asokwa. You know the dynamics, the people that came in, the Kennedy Japan and them that came in at the last minute, influencing and dictating the pace and all that, somewhat affected the outcome. But I accepted everything in good faith. We are going to another contest. Let's see what happens.
Samuel Benfo, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Well, we'll see what happens as you indicated. Today is what? Today we have some few days, less than 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. Today being the 15th, less than 2 weeks to that election. That's the primaries of the NPP, 13 days away from today, all things being equal. Well, this is Ghana Tonight here on your Election Command Center. But away from that, the Cybersecurity Authority is warning the public about a rise in job scams. We hear exactly how these job scams are perpetrated, the modus operandi that this is indeed employed by the scammers, and what you, the public out there, should be mindful of and taking notice of here on Ghana Tonight. Now, we got information from the Cybersecurity Authority raising alarm over a sharp rise in job scam incidents across the country. Now, the authority, in a statement which we're going to put on the screen shortly, said it has received at least 15 reports through the cybercrime cybersecurity incident reporting points of contact, with victims losing over 124,000 Ghana cedis. That's according to the Cybersecurity Authority, warning citizens to beware of unsolicited messages offering job opportunities, as these scammers tend to pose as recruiters to fleece unsuspecting persons, members of the general public. And unfortunately, a number of persons have fallen victim to this. And we understand over 120,000 Ghana cedis have been lost in 6 cases reported to the Cybersecurity Authority. Stephen Kojo Seshi is Computer Emergency Response Team member at the Cybersecurity Authority. Is actually the head of the Computer Emergency Response Team. Thank you so much, Mr. Seshi, for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First of all, let's establish this. In what form do these job scams take per your own investigations at the Cybersecurity Authority?
The reports we've received so far are the CSS point of contact. The point of contact is our means or our interface to the public. You can reach us on voice on 292 or send us a WhatsApp on 050-160-3111 or an email using report@csa.gov.gh. Now, based on the reports we've had so far, the messages are delivered either on the normal social media platforms you're familiar with, WhatsApp, or sometimes SMSs. So it always comes as someone offering a job offer, telling you, oh, there's a simple job that you can do digitally and be paid handsome fees. So that's how people are attracted to then click on the link that has been provided. And then it starts interacting with people that give them these tasks to carry out.
Right, but I just want to find out this. And how did the victims, based on your statement, lose over 120,000 cedis in just 6 cases that you have monitored? What happened? How did these victims lose this amount of money?
So essentially what the perpetrators are doing is they attract the victims to do the initial set of tasks. And the pattern we've observed is those initial set of tasks, they actually pay back. They'll pay you back, usually not more than 200 cedis. One technique or one approach, they'll say, oh, pay a certain amount of maybe paying 100 cedis, do the tasks, and we'll pay you back with the benefits you have got. So they'll pay you back maybe like 150 Ghana to prove that, oh, indeed, the job is true in a sense, or it's authentic. Or in other cases, they'll let you do the initial task, they'll pay something like 20 cedis, 50 cedis. So once they've got the victim's attention like that, they'll ask you to do a few more tasks. Now, the trick they then play on you is they'll tell you, okay, based on the tasks you've done, you've made this much of interest or income, usually in the thousands. But then to withdraw it, you need to pay some additional fee to them to help them release that money to you. So once that cycle starts, they'll start with very small figures. They'll tell you, pay 500. The 500 is paid. They might even pay back that 500 with some interest. But then the next one, like 1,000 or more, that's where the problem starts. They'll tell you, oh, actually you need to pay a bit more for the money to be released. In some instances, they say, oh, the money they're about to pay you is from a foreign account. So you need to pay for the fees that are associated. So they keep extracting the money like that. By the time you realize you pay them thousands, and then eventually they just lock you out and the money is gone.
But so what would be your recommendation, especially to the members, general public, the viewers who are watching us right now, what they should look out for, what they should do in order not to fall victim to this latest scam?
Whilst we are getting familiar with the digital world, we are doing a lot of things digitally, we need to still be alert to the kind of offers that are made to us online. Now, if someone offers you a job online, tells you, oh, you really need to like videos or refer a video to someone and I'll pay you thousands of cedis, you need to be alert. Why would such a simple task earn you so much money? So if it's too good to be true, it's likely not true. Also try to impersonate valid online or remote job sites. So they'll pick the name of that remote work or remote job site and then use that in the scam. So, but then when you interact with them, you start realizing that maybe they don't really say anything related to the activities of that site, or there are spelling errors, there are grammatical errors in the way they are interacting with you. That's also a warning flag. Now, most companies, even if they are going to recruit you remotely, there's very professional engagement. They'll probably do a call where you can recognize who is engaging with you. You need to see a clear job description from their official site. If you do not have any of these things, then you need to be very careful with whoever you're engaging with. And in addition, you need to also be careful once they start asking, anyone who is recruiting you and starts asking you for money before they process you, you need to be alert. If it's authentic, the person is the one looking for a service. So they won't be asking you to be paying the money in order for you to get that job. So those are warning flags you can look out for when you're interacting with people online.
But it appears...
And you shouldn't believe everything you see online. Everything needs to be validated. You need to check, double check with whichever company they claim to be. Look for an official site. Contact them using other channels to be sure of who you are dealing with before you share personal information, financial
See, my concern, finally, it appears that these scammers are getting sophisticated by the day. And the Cybersecurity Authority is charged with that ultimate responsibility of ensuring that you are one step ahead of these scammers. Are you one step ahead of them? Are you putting measures in place to protect unsuspecting members of the general public?
What we do is usually multi-pronged. So in one dimension, we are doing the awareness creation, which is really let's say, a larger chunk of the thing. Once the public is aware of such scams, they are less likely to fall victim. The other side of things is also when we receive such reports, we are able to conduct investigations based on the evidence that the victims have shared with us. We would work with other law enforcement agencies, and if we have the right evidence, we gather enough evidence, potentially we can make some arrests and do prosecutions. So those are the dimensions some of the dimensions we can operate in to limit the scope of this. Where we have evidence that points to maybe the source of the scams coming from specific countries, the CSA can work with the partner agencies in there as well for them to also do similar investigations to then apprehend the culprits. So these are some of the things we can do. But the bulk of one of the key things is really to make sure that the public is aware of what's going on and to be on their...
Right, and I appreciate your time on this, and thank you very much for highlighting some of these means that these fraudsters use. Stephen Kojo Seshi, Computer Emergency Response Team Lead at the Cybersecurity Authority. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the Black Stars have come under heavy criticism, obviously, for reasons we're seeing on the screen right now. That shambolic performance last night. But question is all hope lost in the team, or there's hope that the Stars will shine again against the Pharaohs of Egypt? Well, we've been reduced to mathematicians again every time. But something rather unfortunate happened after the match yesterday. One of the frustrated Ghanaian fans charged on Chris Hughton, and we have the amateur video of that incident at the foyer of the hotel. Take a look. Well, so we have more of this right after this quick break. Stay with us. We're connecting straight to Ivory Coast. A man on the ground is joining us, Orikwan Pofo, together with sports journalists also joining us tonight, Godfred Akoto Boafo, right after this quick break.